All right. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed your first break. If you guys, I think I forgot to say this, but on your sheets, put the quotes that you like or the things that you think that individual said that could help you the most. And now we have 4 more to go. Frank is going to tell us a story about how he is taking over the world one property at a time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So, we all share something in common in this room right now, all of us. It's time, right? And I never realized how precious it was until recently, until a few years ago. I realized how precious it was. But time is something that we, once it goes, you can't buy it back. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what you own. Once that time passes, it's gone forever. So it's important that we utilize our time and we make the best of it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and you know that this time will come back into our conversation. I'm a son of 2 immigrants. My family's from Italy. My dad was put on a cargo ship at the age of 12 and sent from Italy to Argentina by himself to meet up with his father. My family went to Argentina first, and through there they made their way to the United States. He went back, married my mom, brought her back to the United States, and got into the restaurant business. So a little backdrop of who I am, Frank Tommaso. Got two beautiful children. One's on the way, and life is a beautiful journey with a lot of big bumps. Finding out your why is really the essence of this all at that time. So my folks came to America, didn't speak any English, didn't have any money. They had $3 in their pocket, and they knew how to work. They knew that time equaled money. So the first thing they did was opened up a pizzeria. They knew how to cook. So they went and they figured out money. And they got a lease and put ovens and dough machines and started making pizzas. And that was in the 60s. And I grew up in the pizza business. So as an infant, I would come, literally as an infant, my mom would change my diapers on the flour bags in the back. And I used to play in the storage room. That's where I grew up. I would do my homework there. So I grew around a family that became successful through hard work. Success equaled working really hard, not being scared to work. And I knew that I wanted more to life than that. I knew I wanted more. So I went to college. But throughout my college time, I'll take a step back. At the age of 16, we had a restaurant, and across the street there was a hair salon. And at that, I don't know why, but they all had nice cars. All the hairdressers had really nice cars, Corvettes, Trans Ams. I loved cars. So I figured, you know what, while they were working, I could detail their cars. And that's how I started as an entrepreneur. That was my first business. I was 16, making $100 a car. And as women would get their hair cut, I would detail their cars in the back of the parking lot. So that was my real first taste of entrepreneurship on my own. Went to college. Throughout college, I knew that, first of all, I needed college. I needed to get it for my parents' sake, because I wanted to make them proud of me that I had the college degree. And secondly, I thought that was the path that you need to have, was the standard for myself. So I went to college, and in the meantime worked in my family's restaurant. But while I was in college, I was always sketching in my notepads. I was listening to the professor. I was sketching plans of opening up restaurants, bagel shops, all these big plans that I had. I successfully graduated college, got my bachelor's in international business and economics, and decided to go sell door to door in Manhattan. That was my first job, $23,000 a year. Right out of college, I would get on the train every morning and make my way from New Jersey to New York City. And I hit the pavement. Now I had goals. They had set goals for me. They put me through a great sales training course and they set goals for me. And I always overachieved my goals. But I knew that wasn't where I needed to be. And that wasn't the last stop for me. So at the time, my ex-wife had decided to come to William & Mary Law School. And she came to Virginia Beach, and I was on the bus, and I was unhappy working in New York. And I opened up the New York Times, and there was a pizzeria for sale in Virginia Beach. I happened to be coming to Williamsburg, Virginia, to visit. So I said, let's go check this place out. We went there, and the guy wanted this astronomical amount of money for it. And I looked at her. I said, well, what are your thoughts? Virginia Beach? Yeah, let's give it a shot. So I went back to Jersey and called the guy up. And I said, hey, I've got $20,000. I had saved up 20 grand. If I give you this, will you finance the rest? And he said, sure. Just like that. If you don't ask, you can't receive. So he took a chance on me, and I took a chance on myself. I didn't think twice. I mean, we're talking Thursday. I left New York City. Friday morning, I was here. Sunday, I was home. Monday, I met with the guy. By Thursday, I was packing my stuff, moving to Virginia Beach. Made it happen. Came down here, knew nobody, knew nothing about Virginia Beach. Didn't do any research. Had no idea what I was doing. But I knew how to make pizzas. I knew how to run a restaurant. I grew up in a restaurant. I knew what I was doing when it came to that business. So I opened up my first store on 21st Street called Albies. And it's still in existence. 20 years later, still there. And I worked really hard. And I gave up my time for money. And I was driven to succeed. Or at least I thought that's what success was, money. I thought that would make me happy. So I worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every day I would wake up and go to work. Missing weddings, missing funerals, missing everything. I missed my life. For 4 years I did that. 7 days a week. I dedicated myself to my business and to my success. I was married, had a child. I can't, my son, he's 15 now. At that time was premature. He was in the hospital for 28 days. And that's the first shocker of what time meant. At that moment, time stood still for me. Those 28 days, it was, everything stopped. Nothing else mattered. The restaurant didn't matter. Money didn't matter. My son mattered the most. And I spent 28 days in the hospital with my son. Thank God he's healthy. He's 15 now. Came out of the hospital. But Frank went back to doing what he did best, was making money. I opened up a second restaurant. I opened up a third restaurant. I opened up a fourth restaurant. I knew I could hustle and make tons of money. Well, in the meantime, I forgot what was important. I forgot about the time that I couldn't get back. And time went really fast. My son went from 32 weeks that he was born to 5 years old. And those 5 years went so fast that I missed out on a lot of things. I found myself with a lot of money. I found myself divorced. I found myself in a large home by myself. It was a stark awakening for me. At that point, I decided that things needed to be different. I just didn't know what. And I don't know how politically correct I need to be, but I accepted Christ in my life, and my life changed. And I've changed my whole focus of what my life is about and who I am as a person and what my time is meant to be, what I'm supposed to do with my time. At that time, I had restaurants. I had a real estate company as well. It's called Blue Sky Realty. I had offices throughout the state of Virginia. I had a title company. They call me serial entrepreneur. I had my hands in everything and was doing well pretty much in everything that I was doing. But I was very, very unhappy. So I decided to change the mission of my life, to change my purpose. And in doing so, it required a lot. It required a lot. It required a complete reset. It's kind of like rebooting your computer. You know, you lose all the information that you have to reset. And I reset my life. And at that point, I was blessed with being introduced to a wonderful woman. Got married. My kids have a beautiful stepmom. We're expecting another child. I refocused my company's mission several years ago, and we work with a mission to make good things happen for other people. I wake up every morning with my mission, not to make money, but to figure out what I could do to help other people, what I could do to change the world one person at a time. Because we have this valuable resource, the most valuable that we take it for so granted. We take it for granted. All of us do. All of us are guilty of it. The time that we have to change the world one person at a time. Going into a supermarket, a simple hello to the cashier. You don't know what's going through their minds. You don't know what type of problems they have. You know, it was just a major reset for me and a refocus. Now, it wasn't it was difficult because I had to refocus my whole company. You know, I scaled down my company, and we're a pretty decent sized real estate company. We're based in Hampton Roads. We still have arms throughout the state, but it changed a whole focus of who we are, who works for us, what type of identity they have, if they share the same heart that we have. You know, I started a philanthropy company or arm of our company called Blue Sky Love that does outreach, international outreach to orphans and to widows. We donate a large portion of our proceeds to this Blue Sky Love part of our company. So, you know, really a mindset of reset was in order. And the question that I ask you guys to ask yourselves is this: being successful is really, really easy. I mean, whatever it is that you have in your mind, whatever your idea is, it's really easy to make it come to fruition. It's not that hard. If you want it bad enough, you can get it. The question I have for you guys is, what is your why? Why do you want it to come to fruition? Make sure you work on your why first, and it not be money, because money will leave you empty. And I remember I had this dream as a child of wanting a Porsche. I wanted a Porsche 911 convertible. I wanted it so bad, you know, as a kid. And I thought that having that Porsche would make me happy. You know, I had that Porsche. I went and bought it. That was, I don't even know how many years ago, 15 years ago. And I had it in the driveway. And the next morning I woke up and I felt so sad that it didn't fill the void that I was looking for it to fill. It didn't bring me the happiness that I thought. My whole childhood, you know, I wanted a big house. I always wanted a big house. When I got it, it was sad because that was not really the why. I was working for the wrong why. I was working for money and not for people, not for helping other people. So the biggest question, like I said, is why? Why do you want to do what you want to do? Focus on your why and work your way around it. I have so many stories to tell, and I could go on for hours. Um, so I'm trying to pick a good one. So our company now, Blue Sky Realty, focuses around our mission of making good things happen for other people. So we take individuals that have what it takes, that has the right personality, the right heart. Really, is what we're looking for. People that have they wear their heart on their sleeve and want to help become real estate agents. We train them through our system. We have a process. That's the other real big thing to talk about, throughout your business. And I'm not sure really what stage you guys are, but, I'm proud that you guys are all out here and looking and asking questions and figuring things out. But you got to get out there and execute. You can have the best ideas in the world, but you got to get out there and just make it happen. And find your why, get out there, make it happen. It'll happen. I've had failures along the way as well. I've had several failures. And those they sting when you fail. They sting, but you gotta get back up. Just keep going. So, does anybody have any questions?
Is it okay to have more than one why, or should we narrow it down?
No, it's fine to have several whys, but a mission should be uniform in a company, because without a mission, there is division, right? So you need to make sure that when you have your company, you have a mission and it's clearly stated that everybody can follow. So it's like tug of war. If you have 10 people pulling and you got 1 or 2 people on the other side giving resistance, you got to cut the rope and let them fall, because it's going to divide your company. So no, it's you can have multiple whys, but I think the moral of my story is that your why should not be money. Money will come. Money's easy to make. Money will follow if you do the right thing. If you run your company properly, if you have the right why, the money will just follow. Very easy to make. Don't be scared. Don't let that be your deterrent. The only thing that can stop you from success is yourself. It's the only thing that can stop you. Because you can fall, you can always get back up. You'll be in the same position. You may not have as much money. Believe me, I've lost probably as much as I've made in my life. And every time that I've lost, it's hurt. It's hurt real bad. But it didn't stop me. Just keep going. Just get up and keep going.
Question. When you changed your company culture based on when you reset, did you have a problem getting some employees on board? Did some people leave? Did some people get behind you and say rah rah rah?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because 95% of the company left. Yeah, so that was a reset. That was called reset, and only people that believe in my mission of changing and helping people work at our company. We're really strict with that. Our mission is to make good things happen for other people. We won't make $1 if it's not made properly. We have high ethics. We have high standards, and everybody has to live up to our standards, or else they won't be with us. Very short-lived. But thank God that we don't have many people that don't fit in that model. But yes, it was very difficult when, taking a company that was making a lot of money, and the owner just decides that he wants a different purpose in life and changes directions of it. Yeah, but that took a lot of courage, and I'm thankful every day that I did it, because we're making more and more traction now than we ever have. Yes.
When you found your why, was it after trying a couple of other whys, or did you just pick your new mission and that was it? Did you have to try a couple different things?
No, like I said, I was successful. I was not happy. My why was given to me, and again, it was given to me from the Lord. My why, and I went on a mission in El Salvador, and I help the incarcerated children. And that changed my life. Once I saw that, once I saw how these 8-year-olds that murdered people and were put in cells the size of this cube right here, and they had 10 or 15 kids in little cages like animals, I knew I had to make a difference. I knew that I had to change my life. I knew that I had the ability to do so. We're in America, greatest country in the world. We have the ability to do anything. There's no excuses here. We have no excuses at all. So that's when my real why came out. When I saw that, and I had my son with me at the time, because I wanted him to see. We really didn't know what to expect actually when we went. It was just a divine intervention, but we went there and it changed our lives. Yes.
Did you find that when you made that change in your mission, to your new why, did you find that your client base changed?
Once we changed our why, I don't necessarily think that our client base changed. I think that business got better. Business really did get better. People love to do business with companies that really care about them and don't really care about money. Especially the industry that we're in. Real estate's a really gross business. It's like an auto used car dealership. I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's a dog eat dog type of business. 98% of the agents fail, just like in business. Small businesses, there's a large percentage of businesses that fail, but you have to give it a shot. So I want to go into this. I want to re-pioneer it and make it a different type of business where you don't need to be on your own. Our company is not only mission based but process and system based. I mean, everybody that works for us, you'll get the same response from every single person. We all are on the same rhythm. But yeah, our business has increased since we changed our why.
So I sympathize very much with the change in the why. I had a similar change when I had my daughter, and I'm very much a company that wants to help people. That's my mission. I'm in design construction, and I want to reach out and I want to help people. How do you balance your making money so that you can help people? How do you know? I have a problem with wanting to give things away so much that I wonder if I'm making the right balance between just making so that I can help.
That's a great question, and it comes up often. So there's the business end of it, and then there's the giving end of it. We operate our business with systems and processes. We don't veer from it. Our price is our price. It is what it is. Our giving is structured giving. So it's out there. People know that we're giving what we're giving. And if we don't really do the discounting proof. I don't know, like you said, yours is a little bit different than our business, but ours is we get paid commission for sales of homes or for purchases of homes. So we have a fixed price, our fixed rate that we charge, and the rate is the rate. And if you choose to do business with our company based on our ethics and our marketing plan and everything wonderful that we have, then we welcome you and know that we're going to give a good portion of it back. And again, to relay off of that question, such a thing as working in your business and working on your business. At the beginning, you're going to be working in your business. I mean, you're going to be in there. In order to succeed, you've got to be in there. But there's going to be a transition point where you hit a plateau that you cannot grow unless you remove yourself from your business and work on your business to grow it. I'm on the board of Entrepreneur Organization. We're a worldwide organization, and we have 10,000 plus members throughout the world. And it's a peer-to-peer organization of companies that make $1 million plus. And that's what we help each other do, because it's really hard to work on your business and not in it. You fall. It's your baby. It's like leaving your baby with a nanny. It's really hard to do that. You want to hold your baby yourself. You want to make sure your baby's fed yourself. And when you hand it over to somebody, you're always checking up and making sure that the baby's fed, the diapers are changed. So it'll be a point that you have to release trust in other people. And the only way to grow is by growing your staff to follow the same mission that you have. Yes.
So kind of two quick questions. One is, I guess, a yes or a no. So you would say that your mission is not arbitrary, but it's very purpose-driven, personally purpose-driven?
My mission is purposely purpose-driven, but it also in our core values, it tags a lot of people. So within my mission, it's to make sure that good things happen to all the people that work for us, that good things happen for our clients, that when we go into a transaction, we leave the world a better place than we came into it, that we make a change in any type of exchange that we have throughout the day and leave it positive, because we have the ability to either make a positive experience or a negative experience. When we wake up in the morning, we can either have a positive day or a negative day. We have that choice of how we handle things. Anybody else have any questions? So get out there, get your idea going, make it happen. Don't be scared. Give it a shot. The worst that can happen is you fall. You get right back up and you do it again. It's that simple. I know that a lot of times it takes a lot of courage to take that leap of faith. But you need to do it. You need to try it. If you don't try it, it'll never happen.
Awesome, Frank. Thank you. Grab the mic, sir. I love the positivity piece of that. I think it's so important. And that was incredible. I was just telling Chip, who probably had the best quotes, the first one, that he probably just got beat with some quotes. So sorry, Chip. There's always 15.3. Right. So Frank, thank you so much.
Thank you. And guys, I wish you all the luck in the world. But again, make it happen. Whatever it is in your brain that's stewing, make it happen. Get out there and do it. That's it. Make it happen.
Just do it.
I'll say Nick.
All right. Dennis, I'm a pretty big believer that, like Frank said, we can either wake up in the morning and start being negative, or we could start being positive. And I think that the more, she'll sit here, the more positive we are, the more positive our day is going to be. And we're given this awesome opportunity called life, and what we do with it is everything that we can control. Yes, bad things happen, but how we control that negativity is what makes things positive. So awesome job, Frank. Thank you so much for that. Next up is truly a story of resilience. I met Dennis just over 2 months ago, right after our first execute. And when he told me and a group of about 15 other people his story, my mouth just dropped. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let him tell you guys the rest. But he's come a long way, and positivity is a huge piece of that. And Dennis, take it away.
All right. My name is Dennis Gray. I'm CEO of Accurate Pest Solutions. We're a pest control company here in Hampton Roads. And we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary. I'm going to give a little bit of accolades and then kind of tell you guys how this all started. To date, we've serviced over 40,000 service calls. We currently have 12 local government contracts. And we have gross since inception a little bit over $2 million. Where it all started is I actually was working for FedEx. I worked for FedEx for 10 years. And I had a conversation with my senior manager, and I had talked to him and asked him, what do I need to do to become a senior manager? And he basically looked at me and said, your options of being a senior manager in this particular company are going to be very slim. If you look in the particular area where we worked at, there were 4 senior managers. Most of them have been there for many, many years. And that was just a slot that many people weren't going to give up. And that being said, is I knew that I didn't want to be in corporate America at that time. And I'll actually backtrack just a little bit to tell you how I got in corporate America. In college, I was going to school for biology, wanted to become a pre-med and become a doctor. And essentially what happened was I just didn't have the money to go to med school. So I wanted to work for a little while, and the goal was to get back into school, which never happened. I did work for FedEx for 10 years. That particular money was really, really good. And at that particular time, I said, well, if I don't go to be a doctor, then maybe I can move up the ranks in FedEx. When I had that conversation with my manager, I knew that something had to change. If I'm going to put in 20, 30, 40 years in this company and I've already reached a plateau, it doesn't look good for me. So I decided to take the money that I had in retirement. I was going to pay a penalty on it because I'm not 65, but I took that money out and I started a business, a Christian bookstore in New Jersey. And for the first 3 years, we did really, really well. And unfortunately, our 4th year, we got a new mayor in town who wasn't very business friendly. And he kind of stopped a lot of traffic coming in our town. We had no parking meters out front, and he installed parking meters that had a ridiculous rate. We had a train station across the street, and there was also a bus stop across the street, which a lot of our customers used to get to the businesses in the area. He stopped the train from coming into town. It had to stop the town before and after. And the same thing with the buses. They could no longer stop in the town. That year, I lost $80,000. And I needed a job. So I happened to be sitting in my office. This was weeks before I was going to have to shut my doors. And there was a job opening for a pest control technician. And it was starting at $55,000. And I said, I have no experience in it, but I'll give it a shot. I started working as a pest control technician, and I actually fell in love with it. One of the things that I really fell in love with, and the gentleman earlier talked about giving and having a why, is when a pest control technician is going into someone's home and they alleviate that problem, whether it's ants, spiders, mice, whatever the case may be, you leave that homeowner or resident with a better quality of life. And I started to listen to the moms and the mothers and the children say, oh, we're so glad you came. You know, we were in turmoil basically with these particular insects. And now we can get back to life as we once knew it. And that was like a home run for me. That was like hitting that jump shot 3 seconds before the game ended. I really had a great feeling. And I said that this is something that I can see myself doing. So from that moment on, I decided that I was going to learn that business inside out. I sat with the owner almost every day before work and after work and just asked a million questions, just wrote everything down. I worked for the company for a few years, and then I actually asked him if I could move it to different departments because I wanted to learn how every aspect of that company ran. And in my going into my 4th year with that particular company, I had gotten married. And my wife wanted to move to Virginia. Her family's from here, so she wanted to be closer to her family. So I decided to take that leap. And as I look back at it now, it must have been the craziest thing that either one of us could have ever done. We both moved to Virginia. We bought a house. I wasn't working, didn't have a job. We moved and bought the house, and she didn't have a job. And we enrolled my stepdaughter in private school. So we had to figure out how everything was going to get paid. And I decided that I was not going to take a job. I learned enough about pest control to start my own business. And that's what I decided to do. I too am a man of faith. And I prayed every day and just asked God to basically help and make this path easy for me. And 6 months into starting the business, and actually we moved to a town with there's less than 7,000 people there, probably more people in my college than in this town. But I moved to Franklin, Virginia. And 6 months there, I have a white van, no logo, no uniforms, and I happen to be driving up the road and not paying attention. I'm kind of hitting the corner a little bit fast, and I almost ran into a gentleman. And he actually came to the driver's side window. He's yelling, and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you." And he asked me if I was in business, and I told him, "Yes, I'm in pest control." And he says, "Well, here, no harm, no foul. Take my card. I'm actually the procurement director for the housing authority, and we actually have a pest control contract coming up. I'd like for you to bid on it. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call." 6 months in town without logos, without uniform, we actually had our first contract. And I knew at that point I had to kind of pick up the pace. So I got a logo design, uniforms, and basically hit the ground running. I was going door to door. It was guerrilla marketing at its best. There were many times where we really didn't know if the mortgage was going to get paid. There were many times when the school called and said, "You're past due on your daughter's tuition." But I will say this, God has certainly been true, and he's always met those needs. He talked about having a why. And I actually started around the same time that another gentleman started a pest control business, and his why was money. He's no longer in business today. When money's your motivator and money isn't coming in, you'll give up. When something else is your why, my why was making sure that I can provide for my family. My why was making sure that I can give my stepdaughter the best education that we possibly can. And I can quit if money was my motivator, money wasn't coming in. I could not quit and tell my stepdaughter that we can no longer send you to private school. So I knew that I had to get out there and work from 7 to 7. I had to wear 20 hats and just about do every job there was out there. And it was it was an up and down roller coaster. And one of the things I'll also say is you want to enjoy the highs, but you don't want to lay in them too long. And you don't want to sit in the valleys as well. He also mentioned when you fall, you get back up. That's what we do. That's what you guys do. That's what all entrepreneurs do. When you fall, you get back up, you dust yourself off, and you basically keep going. You basically keep moving. That's one of the things that I promote throughout our company today is, all of our technicians now kind of think the way I think. They have that passion for creating just a better quality of life for all of our customers. And we're not a respecter of persons. We can literally be in a low-income property at 8 a.m. where residents barely have food in the refrigerator. And by 3:30 that afternoon, we can be in a $5 million home. And we treat both clients the same way. We want to make sure that we eliminate the pest issue. That's what we're there for. And he mentioned earlier, if you are following your why, the money will come. There was a long time where we didn't do all the extra essentials. We didn't go on a lot of movie dates, and newly married couple. A lot of the stuff we didn't do. And at the same time of building that business, I was going through a tumultuous marriage. My wife hit a switch going into the second year of marriage. She kind of no longer wanted to be married, and she kind of no longer wanted me in the house that I was helping pay for. So basically, she manipulated me out of the house. And I didn't have money to get an apartment at that time. I was paying rent on the office. I was paying for the mortgage. I was sending my stepdaughter to private school. So for just a little over 6 months, I was technically homeless. I lived in my office, which was probably, a jail cell is probably bigger than my office. My office at that time was probably 6 by 6. And I took bird baths every morning in the community bathroom. It got to the point where the manager of the building, because we had cameras throughout the building, the manager of the building actually came to me one day and said, Can I talk to you? And he says, well, someone might have mentioned that you're staying here pretty late, getting here pretty early. We just want to make sure that you're not living in the building. And, oh, no, I'm not living in the building. But that's what I had to do to make it happen. And during that time, I still got up very, very early. I still stayed out all day acquiring new customers, calling them and thanking them and calling them back and asking them if they enjoyed the service. And I had to have a smile on my face every single day that I got out, despite my situation. But we're not at that point now. I mean, it went on for quite a while. That went on for the living in my office was probably about 6 to 8 months, and then just not knowing if we were going to be able to meet financial needs probably went on for almost about 4 to 5 years initially. But then there was a shift. You know, I kept grinding. I operated the business with integrity. I operated the business with the intent to make sure that we were going to do what we were paid to do for each and every customer. And before you know it, it just started to continue to grow. We started to win contract after contract. And I aligned myself with people who were smarter than me. And that's one thing that I'll suggest to you guys. Don't try to master everything. Align yourself with people who are much, much smarter than you. And never stop learning. My library at home is probably larger than my music collection. I'm constantly reading, constantly learning, and constantly evolving, elevating, and growing. And you want to also align yourself with strategic partners, people that can help your business grow. And the gentleman earlier mentioned, ask for what you want. And unless you're asking for it, you're not going to get it. I ask everybody for what I want, need, or what I'm trying to find. The CEO of the company that I worked for previously didn't have to share all those things with me, but he chose to because I asked. When I got to Virginia, I found 2 successful pest control companies, and I asked these gentlemen if they would mentor me, and both of them said yes. And they've been my mentors from day one. I thank them for really just everything. Even the times that I didn't listen to them always, I thank them just for really staying with me and really helping me out. And then I will say, with your why, when you guys are creating your why, make sure your why includes other people. They say that there's 3 levels of motivation. Money, the second level of motivation is for self-gain, and the third motivation is what they call duty, is when you are doing it for other people. My why, and your why may change. My why then was sending my stepdaughter to private school, it was providing for my family. Today, my why is to make sure that I can provide a stable employment situation for my employees. I want to make sure my employees have a better quality of life. Even though we're a smaller company than a lot of the larger companies, we probably pay a little bit more than market rate of what the bigger companies pay. That affects our bottom line a little bit, but it gives us motivated employees who now they're giving that why to our clients. They have that passion, they have that drive to provide them with a better quality of life, and at the same time, they know that their financial needs are being met as well. And there's enough opportunity out there today. I mean, you can YouTube it, you can Google it. The gentleman mentioned earlier that there are no excuses. Today, literally, there are no excuses. You can literally YouTube, Google anything that you want to learn. And it's out there. There's so many resources here in Hampton Roads, from how to win government contracts, and there's so many free programs where you can go to seminars and trainings, and we're usually still at all of these events. I never, ever stop growing, never stop trying to align myself with people that I can help and that people that can help and assist our business as well. Trying to think and make sure I haven't missed any key points for you guys. And we're at the process now where we've grossed over 2 million since inception, but I know that we have a long way to go. I've shared some of this with Zach earlier, but one of our aspirations is to build our company over the next 5 years to at least to a $3 to $5 million a year company. So there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of additional grinding that we have to do. And we still have to continue to align ourselves with those key people and make strategic partnerships. One of the things that I do when I go to, regardless as to whatever event I go to, I always try to do two things. I try to see if there's a situation where I can help someone, and I try to see if there's someone that can help us grow. So don't waste those opportunities. When you go to a seminar to learn and gain information, you go to a networking event, you go to any type of business event, you want to make sure that you can align some folks with that you can help out, and that those folks can give back to you as well. Currently, I just met a young lady who, she's actually ex-military, and her husband is ex-military, and they just started a pest control company. And she was really just flabbergasted at all the information that I gave her. And she said that she had went to other companies and asked them for help and asked them for guidance, and a lot of the other smaller companies wouldn't give her any information. And I just told her that when I first got started, there were people that kind of helped me, so I would certainly be selfish not to give back, even if we're in the same competing market. There's enough clientele out there, and if you're doing business the correct way, you're going to continue to grow. And I also had early on getting started, you guys are going to encounter family members, friends who are not going to support you. You guys are going to encounter a lot of negativity. I had an uncle who told me that I should just continue to work for another company. I'm doing well, and you'll never be able to make $1 million. When I went through the issues with my wife, a lot of it was that she didn't want to be in the marriage anymore, but I was constantly berated every day that this company will never succeed. And then once it started to succeed, she wanted half of the company when we were going through the divorce. But I'll tell you how good God is. She never would go to the divorce proceedings. And after stretching the divorce out for almost 2.5, 3 years, the judge just got frustrated with her never showing up, and he ruled in my favor. So she owns no percentage of the company today. And it's just been a blessing. It's just truly been a blessing. And I would just say that to you guys, just don't give up. You guys have all heard the saying, a broken clock is right twice a day. So at some point, something will click for you and something will happen. And I'll leave you guys with this. You guys may have heard this as well. Yesterday's a mystery. That's why they call it history. Tomorrow's unknown. That's why they call it the future. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So I would say to you guys, live in the present and make sure you guys nurture that gift. Whatever it is, don't give up on it. Don't give up. There were many times I could have given up. And there are some times that I actually felt like giving up. And that's why it's important to align yourselves with people who are going to motivate you and kind of give you that encouragement. But had I given up then, I certainly wouldn't be where I am today. I certainly wouldn't be able to help the amount of people that I've helped over the time that I have. And as the gentleman said earlier, I mean, it's great. I went from, when I think about it now, I went from being literally homeless for 6 to 8 months to now I live in a pretty decent sized home. I didn't own a car. When I started the business, I didn't own a car for 9 years. All the vehicles that I owned or drove were company vehicles. So imagine trying to take a date out in a very bright yellow vehicle with a bug on the side of it. So needless to say, I was single for quite a while. But today I own 2 vehicles. I'm debt free. I have a credit score of over 800. I'm not saying that to impress you, but I'm saying it to impress upon you. Had I quit and given up, I would have never been able to achieve even that small amount of success. I still have a long way to go. I have a lot of things that we intend on doing. We're currently partnered with the Southeastern Food Bank of Virginia, and we donate, along with our customers, hundreds of pounds of food every quarter. We're partnered with the Habitat for Humanity, so we go out and we help build homes for the less fortunate. And there are a host of other charities that we are part of. But I certainly wouldn't be able to help those charities and be a part of those charities had I given up, 8-10 years ago. And there's going to be some struggle. There's going to be some struggle. Probably 2% of businesses open their doors and they're very successful from the onset. The other 98% have to work hard and grind and get dirty and go through those trials and tribulations. And I got started in an industry, pest control in Hampton Roads in this area. There's just about almost 4,000 pest control companies in this area. So imagine what I've been told by people when I first got started. Why are you going into an overpopulated industry? Why don't you just work for someone? Why don't you just, figure out another industry? But a large portion of those are mom and pop shops, people that work for a company just like I did, and they tried to venture out on their own. And a lot of them have the wrong motivation. They're trying to be motivated by money. I've befriended, I think, 5 other companies initially. And of the 5, there are 2 of us that are still existing. And the other gentleman has the same mindset that I do. He has a passion for really making sure that they get rid of the bugs that they're paid to get rid of. And he's not, I know this gentleman, he's certainly not motivated by money. He'll give you the shirt off his back if he could. So that being said, I just would end with that and ask you guys just to really, really operate in your gift. Do not give up. Do not let anybody tell you you can't. It won't happen. And just align yourself with people that are going to motivate you, people that are going to elevate you, and people that you can help as well. Any questions or
Questions?
Have you or did you mentor others now as you were mentor?
I do. Currently, right now, only one business, which is the pest control company of the military company I was telling you about. Certainly giving them a lot of advice, and I've made a lot of mistakes. The other gentleman mentioned making mistakes. If you're in business, you're going to make mistakes. The key to mistakes is you don't want to make the same mistake twice. And because when you make a mistake as a business owner, they're very costly usually. But yeah, currently they're the only couple that I mentor. I am talking right now with an organization to mentor actually younger people, younger kids who are looking to start businesses.
How many employees do you have?
Currently, we have 8.
What was you mentioned you came to an area that you weren't familiar with. What was your biggest challenge doing that, coming into an environment that you weren't accustomed to?
Ironically, I don't see it as a challenge. I can see it as a complete opposite. I see it as a benefit. And the reason I say that, I kind of look at people who weren't born in the United States and who come from, let's say, another country, and they're here and they literally know nobody. And 10 years later, they either have businesses, they've gotten several college degrees, and they seem to be very, very successful. I think it's that kill or be killed mentality. For lack of a better phrase, when my wife at the time, when we moved from New Jersey to Virginia, there wasn't a second to waste. I didn't have a job. She didn't have a job. New home, mortgage, insurance, stepdaughter going to private school. So we couldn't sit back and wait for things to happen. We had to make it happen. We were forced to, actually I was forced to, make things happen. I couldn't take no for an answer. I would go out every day, and at that particular time, I'm trying to remember some of my goals. I think one of the goals was to make sure I knocked on 100 doors per day. And out of that 100, I knew that I would probably only walk away with 5, 7, 8 customers. I would be turned away by, the other 80, 90 customers. or potential customers. So I looked at that part of it as a benefit. It was literally get out there and make the sale, or you may not be able to put food on the table at the end of the day.
What's your next move?
My next move.
200
The next move is I'm really passionate about building this company to $3 to $5 million over the next 5 years. And I'm aligning myself now with people that can help do that. I have other mentors. I'm a part of the Propel mentorship program, but I'm also a part of a few other organizations as well, and aligning myself with other CEOs who've actually been there, done that, and who can actually show us how to get there. And I also believe in diversifying as well. So I'm actually looking into purchasing a franchise either late this year or next year.
Anyone else?
And I have actually 2 small door prizes. I know I know Zach asks this question a lot, so I'll give this to the first 2 people who can answer this. What is an entrepreneur?
Someone's been watching the show. After Rhodes Business Weekly, Sundays at 9 on ABC.
Shameless plug.
A go-getter, someone who does whatever it takes to make their dream come to fruition, nonstop. Like you said, get knocked down, life knocks you over, get back up, dust yourself off, and keep on going, keep following and doing everything it takes to make your dream a reality.
All right, very good answer. And you are the winner of the brand new 2015 Bright Shiny Acura Coffee Mug. Add one more.
Same question?
Same question.
Wrong
Okay. I would say someone crazy enough to put everything on the line to achieve what they want in their life, regardless of what people say. Yeah, someone willing to fail to achieve something better than themselves, or to build something better than themselves.
All right. You're also the winner of a
Thank you. I
brand new
appreciate
Shiny
it.
2015.
I use it right now.
All right, we're gonna take let's see.